Oh my God, this is my first live ever. I'd never done live before. Never.
What?
This is my first. I've never done live in my whole life because I was so subconscious that, oh my God, people will be watching on digital and what are they going to be thinking? And then the first one is for you. I've been dragging this moment since last June. Because last June, okay, guys, I'm gonna go briefly into like how I met Dr. Shefali, and then we're gonna dive into the real conversation. Last June, on my birthday, last year of my 20s, I felt like I failed life because I had achieved everything on my bucket list, but I was so miserable on the inside. It was like jumping from one relationship to another, going to everyone, do you love me? Do you love me? To feel good about myself. So then I watched a video. It was Dr. Shefali on Oprah called Super Soul Sunday. You got to watch it if you haven't. And she started to talk about how, as women, we find our worth and value by getting external validation from others. And I was like, oh, that is exactly how I'm feeling. And I reached out to her, and I was supposed to go on live with her last year, but the voice of I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, has been killing me. And Dr. Shefali said, Megan, I want you to follow my lead for a year. And I promise you, after a year, you will be transformed. Guys, this is not the cliche stuff you read on books. I'm living proof. This is my mission because I was the girl that was reading those books and listening to the experts saying, you can be transformed, you can be happier, you can feel joy. And I was like, yeah, nice books, nice writings. It is true. I am a different person after a year. And the fact that I can even do this live, I know for you it might be very little, but for me, this is a big deal. It took me a year to feel like I'm worth it to do a live with a woman that she's my Buddha. I adore her. She saved my life. This is not complimenting anybody. This is real life. She changed my destiny. I will go into this later, but this is not about me. This is about her work and how she can transform you. Dr. Shefali, sorry, it was such a long intro, but thank you. Thank you. We're here a
Well,
year later.
so Megan, and this is what I tell everyone, people want to change, right? And I say, and they want me to like fix them right away and give them the strategies. And I say it takes 6 months to a year and it takes time, but you had all the ingredients that it took, and that's why I was committed to you. And what are the ingredients? And if people don't have these ingredients, they will not come to the threshold of change. So what are the ingredients? The ingredients are a lot of pain, right? That's the first thing. You have to have enough pain that you are tired and you realize that this shit doesn't work anymore, right? You have to be willing to look in the mirror and go, my crap doesn't work anymore. I need help. That's you have to come to your knees, and you were on your knees, number one, and humble enough to ask for help. And then number two, you were dedicated and committed, and you trusted, right? You surrendered your trust to me, and then followed. Like, and I hate to talk like that, like, because I sound like, oh, we have to be dictators if you're a therapist, but you followed step by step, and many times we went backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards.
Many
But
times.
that is the process to growth, and it takes time, right? Who you are today is not who you were in the beginning, and it's hard to believe that, but you trust it. And I think trust is what you gave me, and that's so rare to find somebody that you can trust and that they can hold you and they don't drop you. And that's why therapy and a coach are such valuable processes, because if you find a good therapist, they will reparent you and rebirth you into a new way. But you did all the work. You somebody's asking you why you're crying.
Because it does feel like a rebirth. It does feel like I was born again. When I think about myself, last year it was around my birthday in June, and it was just, life was so empty on the inside and so painful. The suffering was at its peak, to the point that I had forgotten that it is possible to feel joy on the inside. And then when I met you, it was like you were my last resort. I was like, if I don't trust her, I can not trust anybody else. So I was like, I'm just gonna go into it blindly because this is my last resort. And a year later, everything has changed for me. And then the crazy thing is, when you change internally, your external world does change. Like all the magic stuff is real.
So so let me translate that. So first, you know, the process of healing takes time. Then it takes humility, and it takes a willingness to look at your shadow, right? So what we did together, or what I teach people in my work, and I'm having a big event in 2 weeks, you're coming for it, and what I'm going to teach at the event, Evolve, is that you have to be willing to look at your patterns, right? When Megan, you began to realize, oh my God, I'm in a pattern. And many times, Megan, you were so cute. You would be like, what is this pattern called? And I would come up with a name. I don't know, but I think it's called this. But it's what is the point of that is you begin to label your patterns. You begin to see that, damn, I'm doing the same thing over and over. And what you did so beautifully, which is so important, is that you began to take a pause before you started the next pattern, like the same pattern, right? So
Correct.
you began to take a pause. And that's what people do say in Alcoholics Anonymous. When they have the urge to drink, they call the sponsor. When you had the urge to repeat the pattern, you called me, right? So you create a pause, and then you begin to realize, okay, I don't have to do the same pattern. I can go a different way. And this is the power of the work I do, which is to give choices. And when you begin to, you know, act out a new choice, you're like, wow,
Wow.
I did it. Like there were days when you did new things and you were like, oh my God, I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it. And this is the process of starting to walk all over again, right? You learn to walk all over again. This is the power of the work, of the consciousness movement, of this beautiful work where you learn to become conscious, and you're becoming so conscious, you're becoming awakened. That's such a beautiful gift.
It's the most beautiful gift I've ever been given. And before I dive in, I want to add just one more thing for the audience. Uh, Guys, Dr. Shefali restored my faith in humanity. If you're at a point in your life where you're like, I cannot trust anybody, everybody will dump me. I was that girl. I was that insecure girl that couldn't trust that anybody will keep loving me and won't drop me. I was just waiting for the next person to drop me. Men, women, didn't matter. I was just waiting for the next person to say, you know what, enough of Megan. I'm going to abandon her. But there are people out there that are willing to sacrifice for you and to help you, to find you as a diamond in the rough and really polish you up. And Dr. Shefali, you did that for me, and that is something that I will forever cherish. And it's just my duty to try to help other women awaken and touch their hearts so they're open to receiving help from you. And so I'm ready to dive in. So my very first experience with you was when I read your book, Radical Awakening. And it was a radical awakening. I'm like, wow, what is this woman talking about? What is radical awakening and living with consciousness? What does it really mean to become conscious?
Well, to radically awaken means to do two things. You have to heal from the messaging from your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, or many of us, most of us, were raised with lies from our parents' unconsciousness. So maybe we had a mother or a father who said, you're not beautiful, you're not worthy, you're not significant, you're not powerful. So the
Mm-hmm.
first part of radically awakening is to change these messages from childhood. And then the second part of radical awakening is to change culture's messages inside you, like what we women have been told, that you need to be skinny, or you need to be beautiful, or you need to have a man on your arm. These are the lies we women have been told. So to radically awaken is to begin to examine your belief systems and deconstruct them and discard them, disrupt them, so that you can begin to live with consciousness and choice and awareness.
And then you really helped me find my authentic self through shedding years of trauma and layers after layers. And then you started to address ego. What is that ego that's killing all of us?
So in childhood, because our authentic self was not seen, so in childhood we all had a voice, and we knew our voice, and we knew what we liked, and we knew what we didn't like. But if it didn't match with our parents, they told us, no, 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 you can't do
This
that.
is
You have
not
to do
it.
this, right? So you have to create a fake self, a false self, to please them. And that fake false self is what we call the ego. So in reclaiming your authentic self, you have to learn to listen to yourself. So you have to always go back. What do you think? What do I believe? And you have to go inward and stop looking for answers on the outside, right? And that process is very hard because we women especially are addicted to finding answers through our relationships, through people who have money, through through influence, and we don't know how to look inside.
So then it's so interesting. Once I did the work with you, and you really, I always say, Dr. Shefali polished me up. She really, you removed layers and layers of trauma to find my authentic self that was buried underneath all of that. My authentic self, I'm back to my 5-year-old with wisdom this time. But I'm remembering myself when I was a kid and all the stuff that would give me joy. They're all back to me. When it comes to authentic self, how can we help women go back to who they were before the traumas, before the social conditioning?
Yeah, it takes a long time. It takes work, and that's why I teach my courses that take time, or I'm doing this weekend evolve in 2 weeks, which is 4 days. Why? Because it's serious. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
take your emotional health seriously, you have to spend
Mm-hmm.
time. We spend time on our jobs, we spend time making money or making our bodies better, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
spend the time to heal. So you go through this process of uncovering the layers, and
Mm-hmm.
slowly you peel back to where you once were before the trauma. But it takes a whole process, and it's such a powerful process. And like you, many people who go through it, after a year or after 6 months, they're reborn, and they
Mm-hmm.
feel such great love for themselves again that they had forgotten, right?
Correct. And then what is so we're guys, as you know, Dr. Shefali is hosting her wonderful annual event called Evolve in Atlanta, October 21st to 24th. And we're taking a group of women in need that Dr. Shefali, with the generosity of her heart, is supporting and is helping them awaken. Dr. Shefali, what's the first step to the awakening process? Like when people are coming to Evolve, what is the first step you're taking them through?
Let me ask you, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the first step at Evolve, when people come to my seminar, is that they are going to begin to understand their biggest triggers. So we always start with the biggest pain points, right? What is hurting you now? And when I begin to help people deconstruct the biggest triggers in their life, it takes them straight to their greatest trauma. And through our pain, we begin to understand how we're co-creating our suffering. And, so for example, many people who are coming up parents, so they have conflict with their children and they think it's the children's fault. Or we have many people who are in relationships who believe it's the other person's fault. And slowly I show them how they are co-creating. They're not the only ones, but they're not fully victims either. They are co-creating the reality. And when you begin to see it in real time, you begin to make different choices. So that's what I'm going to lead people through, emotional exercises to show them how they've been living the same pattern.
Over and over again. So when, as a woman, when you come to Evolve, you're going to first start to address the main point of trauma, correct? What are the curriculums? Walk me through the process. I know the process, but I'm super excited for other women to benefit from it, other people in general, but obviously I have a soft spot for women.
Right. So at Evolve, my summit, we are going to go through, I don't have the exact order of things, but we're going to understand our triggers, disrupt our patterns, find new ways of relating, choices. What does it mean to have a choice? And we're going to practice that. So when people leave Evolve, they leave with the tools and strategies to go back into their old relationships with actual strategies and choices that they have practiced all weekend. So when you come, you're going to see, I can't give a lot away, but I'm going to keep helping people understand their main ego triggers. That's the main thing in healing. You have to see how triggered you get and why. And once you understand the why, then you can do the how to change. But if you don't understand the why, you won't do the how.
So the first step is really looking at yourself from the outside.
Yes, like a specimen in a laboratory. It's like looking yourself from the outside in, and then you begin to create changes from inside out, right?
Wow. Yes. So I want to add something. This is the first time in my life since age 15 that I'm single. And I'm not looking for validation by having a man by my side. For 15 years, I was conditioned that I'm only good enough. I'm only good enough if I have a boyfriend or I have a partner that validates me. And I'm here because you helped me. For women out there that are seeking validation through their romantic partner, if they were to come to evolve, how do you think we can help them transcend this limiting belief that their value comes from their partner?
Well, so first is to understand that they've been given that information as data, and that that data is wrong. So first, just the awareness that, wow, it could be a lie. Wow, there are other women out there who have divorced or who are not in a relationship. And wow, look at them. They look like you. They look so worthy. They look so confident. Wow, how does she do it? And then through listening to each other's stories, we realize that, wow, they do it because they have found something inside themselves. And once we allow women to tap into their own friendship, their own companionship, their own best soulmate that's within them, right? That's what's missing, is we didn't think that the relationship with ourselves was important. We were never
Correct.
told that the relationship to ourselves is important. We were always told the relationship to our parents, relationship to God, relationship to our boyfriends and the men in our lives was more important than the relationship to ourselves. And that's the fundamental key to spiritual awakening, is when you realize that you yourself and your connection to yourself is the greatest medicine, the greatest balm, the most money in the world, the greatest wealth. That is the power that changes the world.
Wow. So, guys, come to Evolve. Join me at Evolve. I'm urging you, I'm asking you, because the gift you're going to receive during this seminar, you cannot compare it with anything else you've ever received. It's going to be the most precious thing you've ever received. You're going to receive you. You're going to find you, because what you said, a relationship with yourself. I used to feel lonely when I was alone. I used to avoid being by myself. And I didn't know why. I'm like, what's the point of life if I'm supposed to be by myself? When you have a relationship with yourself, there is a soulmate, there is a sister, there is a mother, there's a father right here that you can connect with like this. You don't need to go anywhere. It's right here within you. And Dr. Shefali helps you find you. And this, if you're lost, if you don't know about your purpose, you don't know about what you are, what you're doing in this world, which is where I was at. I was at a point when I reached out to you. I was like, what's the point of my existence in the world of form? Why am I even here? It was, the whole point was to suffer and go through one trauma after another. And that is not the point of life. The point of life is not to survive, it is to thrive. And you are enabling that. You're helping women find themselves, helping people. Sorry, I keep saying women because I just know that once we help women wake up, everybody else will wake up. Because as women, when we wake up, we force others to wake up, the kids, the partners, the men, the work colleagues. I want, if you were to condense your message in one sentence for people that are looking up to you and they want to come to Evolve to learn from you, what would that be?
Well, everybody asks for the elevator pitch, but it's really hard and it changes every day. So for today, the elevator pitch of my message is that to truly be free, one has to remove all the false layers of your masks. And when you do, you touch upon who it is you authentically are, and there is liberation. And it's such a beautiful feeling. You can see it in Megan's face. She looks like a load is off her, because she has reclaimed what she left behind in her childhood. It was always within her, but she had forgotten that she had it, and she just needed a mirror to remind her that she always had the power within. And once you unleash that power, it's like explosion. It's a volcano. Nothing can stop a woman, especially who refines herself. And I say women more than men, because women had to climb higher to reclaim their power, dig deeper, because culture is kind of more cruel or more hard on us. And it's not that it's not cruel to men, but we get it a little rougher, and women of color get it rougher, and and so on and so forth. So we need to support women. We need to support each other, like I did for you, you're doing for me, and other women. Megan is trying to sponsor other women to come to Evolve and finding money for them. And this is what we do. When we're inspired, we help other people. So if people are interested in coming to Evolve, the website is Evolve, Evolve, Evolve with DR for Dr. Shefali.com. Shefali. It's all one word. Or you can just go to my Instagram, Dr. Shefali, and find me there. But yeah, Megan, you're a testament to the power of this work, and then the contagious effect, the infectious nature of healing. Once you are infected with healing, you spread the word.
And I love that you said once you're infected with healing. Guys, you are going to be infected with healing once you're at Evolve. And the link is in my bio. Also, for those of you, if you can't attend, but you want to support one of our beautiful women in need, go to my link in bio. There is an option if you would like to donate to a woman in need that's going to go to Evolve. And Dr. Shefali will help them heal their traumas and transforming that woman from being a passive member of the society to becoming an active member of the society. Just Dr. Shefali, just imagine, we have over hundreds of millions of women around the world, especially women of color, that they're not awakened, they haven't awakened to their full power. Imagine if women would wake up to their power. Wow, they can lift up this world. Wow, this world will be a better place. Don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's why, most of my work is with parents, because when parents release their children, right, then we won't have as much trauma as we have. So then we don't have adults who are walking around in so much pain. Imagine if your childhood was different or somebody else's childhood was different. So we have to keep doing this work, and that's the mission and that's the intention. I have a coaching institute for people who want to do this work and be trained by me. I also have a coaching institute, and that's starting in November as well. So many things, but for now we want to focus on Evolve. And if people want to come to Atlanta, Megan's going to be there, I'm going to be there, and hundreds of other beautiful, like-hearted humans are going to be there. So hopefully we're going to see you there.
Guys, I can't wait to hold your hand at Evolve and cheer for you while Dr. Shefali is waking you up. Basically, she told me, wake up. And you suddenly wake up from the nightmare of all of your traumas, and the world will become a better place for you.
And the beautiful part is then you give it forward. Like, I didn't ask Megan to do this. She wanted to do it. I didn't ask her to come to Evolve. She wanted to come to Evolve. Then it's out there. Once you heal, that's why you have to heal your children, because they go out there and they do better in the world, and the world begins to heal. So Megan, you've never done a live before. So can I just tell you some advice when you get on live?
Yes.
Because I have deleted so many lives. So when you get off, it's going to give you an option to save it and share this video. So you have to make sure you don't delete it. I have deleted so many lives, and then it's gone. Like, you cannot get it back.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, no. We're getting this back. We're not.
So be careful when you put it off. You can call somebody or call me, and I'll help you. And you have to share. I think the option is share this video.
Sharing.
Yes, and then you write a caption, and then you do it. So somebody else is coming to Evolve. They just said, I'm coming. So hopefully we'll see you there. It's in Atlanta in October, in 11 days. I cannot believe Megan and I will see each other for the first time. We've never seen each other, but you would never know that. And we're going to enjoy and celebrate the rebirthing of the authentic self.
I know. I can't. I'm glad that we're meeting now, because the person you're meeting now is my true self.
Ah, that's lovely.
The one last year was with a mask.
We're waiting, and it's beautiful. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you guys. See you at Evolve. Can't wait.
Thank you, Megan. Bye, love.